in all professions in these times, everything has changed. Like in my profession as a pilot, I see it with the new generations and all the gadgets and the social media. So on triathlon is happening too. Most of the new generation of athletes that I have seen outside, they try to be more like this clownish banter way of behaving that didn't happen before, either to get more followers or sponsors or getting out there, more than getting the long way that you guys used to have. Like you needed to get your experience, your time, you work hard and put yourself out and everything to make a living out of it. When most of the guys now, the new generation, they just try to go from 0 to 100 with one race or two races, and they try to be to the same level of like Jan or the big guys that they've been out there for, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what do you see, what do you feel or miss of how things were done before, and how is it getting it done? Do you get that nostalgia of how it was before?
I don't get a nostalgia because some of what is going on now is actually better. Like some of the technology that is available actually helps people to go faster and to prevent injuries, and you can kind of quantify your recovery levels, and so some of that is helping people to have more knowledge to be able to be smarter with their training. The piece that's very different now, I think, than when I raced is that a lot of what we did as athletes in our training was developing kind of that intuitive sense about our bodies. We didn't have a lot of devices to measure things. I had my most advanced device was my heart rate monitor,
Okay.
and so I didn't have anything to measure cadence or stroke rate or distance or power output on the bike. None of that stuff. I mean, I had a stopwatch. I could use that on the track, right? But so a lot of what we did was it was a little bit of technology and a lot of feel. Like, okay, when I get up in the morning, how do I feel? And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at a number to see if I felt good or bad. I just knew it. And so there was certainly some learning curve to go with that, because sometimes I would think, no, I'm just lazy. And I'd go out and train, and then 2 days later I'm completely exhausted or whatever. So I would say there was a little bit more innocence back when I raced than there is now. As far as kind of having access to some of the top athletes now, for sure, it's more fun if you're a fan, because you can follow anybody on Instagram, you can see what they're doing. But I think that's a big distraction for the athletes. When they're having to put in so much effort into figuring out, okay, what's my post going to be on Instagram, and am I going to do something on Facebook today or not? It's like, just think about your training. And not only are they having to, maybe a lot of the top pros, they're having people follow them to take pictures and take videos so that they can post it. So that's a huge amount of energy that goes into coordinating a lot of that stuff. And then secondly, then when they get home, they're looking at what everybody else is doing. And so they're not getting the same kind of rest, especially for their brain, that I used to get. When I came home from training, I hung out, I relaxed. I spent time with my son, who was a baby at the very end of my career. Maybe watched a little TV, hung out and had dinner and laughed with my friends. And there was not this real busy thing that was going on with social media that really keeps your brain on high alert. And I've actually written articles about this. And I talk a lot about this to the clients that I coach. I say, you got to let that stuff go a lot, because otherwise you're putting so much energy into these little devices that you're not having all of your energy to put into your training. And then when you're done, have all of your energy to put into recovery. And if you don't recover and regenerate your muscles, regenerate your brain, which it takes a lot of focus, to do a long workout, to stay on track, or you're doing a hard workout to really focus to stay at a high level of output. If you don't balance that out with quiet and calm and peace, you don't have full recovery. And so I think a lot of athletes today could be so much better if they went more back to just some basics. I coach athletes all over the world, only age groupers. I love age group athletes. MarkAllenCoaching.com. All of my training is online. It has all of the knowledge that I've gained in almost 40 years in the sport and over 25 years of coaching athletes all over the world. Athletes of all ability levels, ages, target race distances. I love it. There's a lot of interaction. I am your coach at MarkAllenCoaching.com. You don't get shuttled off to somebody else. You have interaction with me. Hope to see you on there. MarkAllenCoaching.com. And there's a special for you guys only. You can get the first month for $1. The discount code is first month one, just for you. MarkAllenCoaching.com.